Hello my friends, how you doing? So today I want to talk about acceptance. Acceptance as a parent of a PDA. I'm going to open the video by sharing a couple of gratitudes from me just about life, because I'm tuned into my gratitude practice at the moment. Gratitude is a really good way to shift our vibrational alignment to be able to actually open up to more of what we want. And so when we do that consciously, it's a really beautiful practice if we can find things that we authentically feel gratitude for. And I had a couple in my mind this morning and I thought I'll share those with you. Number one is it's National Kombucha Day. Did you know? There you go. You should feel so much gratitude to me if you're finding this on the correct day, because now you know, and you might have missed this opportunity. But what was beautiful for us is that our PDA, who absolutely loves celebrations and special occasions, really enjoys when these little things come along, and she's a kombucha drinker, so she enjoys that. And she's like, Mum, it's National Kombucha Day and I've not got any kombucha, but I had a feeling to buy some kombucha and had some in my little stock of things to pull out sometimes, you know, those little gifts, little, you know, things that you need to pull on sometimes, and I had some in stock. So I was like, happy National Kombucha Day, I've got you 2 kombuchas. And just that lovely like lining up of that receiving brought me a lot of joy. And I came down and saw something on the table this morning, which is a crystal which is precious to me, and realised that I thought it was broken, and actually I dreamt it and it's not broken. And I was so moved seeing it, like, oh, it's not broken, and I was just so pleased. It's like it felt like it had healed itself, you know, because like I really thought it was broken in my mind, like subconsciously. I hadn't even realised until I saw it. I thought, it's not broken. And that was a huge gratitude. And then my daughter saw me being really emotional and came and gave me a really big hug and kissed me on the head. So that was another gratitude for that love being received, like all built up. So I thought I'd share my little gratitudes with you as I open the video. So talking about acceptance as a PDA parent, I really need to put this in context, because there might be people tuning into this video who don't know me and don't know my work and don't know what I'm about. And so as a parent support worker, counsellor and energy therapist, I work with parents who are raising and supporting PDAers on their own stuff, their own healing, their own inner work, their own growth work. And that's the space that I'm holding here. And yet, of course, all the work we do on ourselves is also of benefit for our children and young people. So yes, we're looking with an inward focus, but we are doing that for our family as well as just for us. And I think acceptance is something that comes in so many different layers. And I really want to put this in the container of, this is an ever expansive journey. This is not about reaching a point where we say, yeah, we've got this. Yeah, this is done. You know, this is not goal-orientated work. This is about noticing what is coming up for us, what's arising, what's presenting, what life is presenting to us, and choosing, if you do, to work with that and to gain the lessons and the growth and potentially the benefits of more freedom and peace and clarity through that journey. But it really isn't about goals. And if we make it about perfection and about finishing, we just set ourselves up for failure, because I promise you that things come along continually, you know, me too, new layers, new blind spots, you know, that pop up for us all the time. And when we're talking about acceptance, we're talking about acceptance of our children and young people, about our PDAers, But it's not possible to talk about acceptance in isolation, is it? Acceptance of one person is the same journey as acceptance of all people. And that means acceptance of ourselves. And that means acceptance of ourselves as the parent we are right now. Pause for effect, because I felt, you know, there's a lot of energy that moves in that, accepting who we are, where we are, what we know. And I don't know about you, but I think for most of us, we notice some sort of resistance coming up in us in that moment, straight away. Even if we're not really consciously aware of exactly what it is, it can feel like a grating, a grr, a push against kind of feeling that's going on in that space. And there might be thoughts or beliefs accompanying that, or there might be very sort of energy or body function signals coming from our body to show us that there's this resistance there. And this resistance is what I work with parents. It's finding it, acknowledging it, and working with releasing it to allow us to have more peace and well-being and ease as we sit in the same circumstances, in the same situation. Because from that place, we can receive intuition, guidance, we can access our higher thinking, we can be inspired, the new can come in, can refresh, and it can actually lead us to where we want to be. Because we have the habit, don't we? You know, oh so human, oh, I catch myself, you know, I teach this work, I've been walking this work for 25 years or something, you know, and I still catch myself all the time where I notice something that I want to make a change around, and I feel I need to do something. I need to push, I need to try, I need to change something. It's all efforting, it's pushing. And it's like the analogy that's often given is like you're paddling upstream, you know, you're pushing against the current, you're pushing against the tide, because actually our natural state is ease and flow and movement. We forget that. Natural flow is movement. We fear if we don't push against the current, we'll stay stuck. But all we're doing is using all this energy and burning ourselves out and tiring ourselves out, exhausting ourselves and feeling frustrated and lost and victimized and, you know, caught in this pattern, when actually what life's asking us to do is to let go. And that's the acceptance. But letting go feels like, you know, when we're in that pattern, letting go can feel like giving up. And that can feel bad. That can feel like we don't care. We carry those stories, don't we? We don't care. Or letting go can feel like just too sad, because I can't bear this. I don't like it. I don't want to stay here. And the fear starts to talk and say, if I don't do something to change this, this is how it's always going to stay. And so we aren't able to do that release, which allows the stream with its natural movement to take us to somewhere else. Just like I did a lovely deep breath then, just naturally, just like our breath breathes us, you know, and stuff comes in and stuff releases and goes out, a very natural cycle when we don't get in the way. And if the word acceptance feels too big, we can play with other words that, you know, might feel more comfortable. Allowing's a good one. Or maybe even just pausing, resting, being. You know, it's better than pushing, better than resisting. So there's all kinds of different ways that we can accept. But what are we even talking about? You know, there's so many different layers, isn't there? When you are at the beginning journey of raising a PDA in this day and age, the majority, is that you have some confusion or lack of awareness around what's going on, whether it's the behaviours or the emotions. And there can be a lot of finding out and discovering, and if we're blessed enough, discovering the information about PDA and coming into that information and coming into that community. And that's the whole first layer of acceptance usually at this time, is in, it comes with some understanding, maybe comes with some support and community if we're lucky, and that first layer of acceptance can set in. But it really is only the beginning of the journey. Even if we now understand, this is PDA and these are the recommendations and the things to put in place, and and we come from that platform, which is still the ideal, I know. But even if we come from that place, there is still a whole new journey ahead, isn't there? We often hear from parents who are confused and shocked by the lack of support, and a lot of feelings can come up around wanting guidance, wanting help and support and all this stuff. And so we start our journey around accepting who our child is and what's going on and where we are as a family. And that is a massive journey in its own right, where we are as a family, because we might be coming from a place where there's a lot of healing to do for our children and for us and us as a family unit. And so that might be our starting place of accepting, okay, we've been lost, we've been confused, we've been hurt, and we now need to put softness around us, time and space to begin healing, and time and space to be learning. And that's, a kind of acceptance, isn't it? And then I work with a lot of parents who, like me, are, at a different time in their journey, and maybe have looked at placing things in the environment and in their makeup of their daily lives, and they've looked at working with a low demand lifestyle for their children and young people, and within context are feeling it in a more stable and knowing place. And then new things start to flag up that need us to bring our softness and our love to find that place of acceptance. And often at that point, it starts to switch from being less focused on accepting our children and young people, who we've often done a lot of journeying with already, to more acceptance of what this means for me as a parent, what this means for me in my relationships, what this means for me in my life, how I feel about myself, who I am in the world. It starts to open up new layers of exploration and question, which can bring up new layers of resistance and tension and more stuff to accept. So we just keep walking on this path with great love and with all the time in the world, and knowing that really we are just beginning to scratch the surface of these explorations and these knowings as a community. So if we're asking of ourselves to have it all down, it's completely unreasonable, isn't it? Because we're the ones finding our way through this, and it needs to be a very tender and gentle journey. And what I share with my community is some processes and some techniques which are easily accessible, easy to use and effective. The main one that I bring in a lot is EFT tapping, because it's a free, easy, simple self-help technique where you can really soothe the nervous system as you are working through this journey. And the reason I love it, apart from the fact it's really free and quick and easy, these things are really important at points in our life when we're parenting, right? So it's really accessible, but it also really, really works. And the majority of people I come into contact with in my work are struggling with consistent regulation of their own nervous system in all areas of their life. Now, you might say that's true of most people in the world, and I'm not going to argue with you, but it can be a lot to ask for. Even if we feel safe and grounded and regulated in some areas, there's going to be areas that we feel jarred in, and our nervous system can really be out of whack. And from that place, we can really feel closed down. We can feel closed down to support. We can feel closed down to relationships. We can feel closed down even literally to our thinking part of our brain. We can be very in our primal part of our brain, which is all focused on survival and is all really doing its best to support us, but all it's drawing from is what it knows from past experience, and we really want to come from more expansive, forward-looking thinking and knowing. And we're closed down to our intuition and our inner guidance. And that's what I'm so much about, is really walking with parents to really trust and be able to hear their inner guidance. Because for me, that's where the answers are. That's where the wisdom is. And when we're closed down and really our nervous system's really dysregulated, and we're really, as we say, triggered, into this place of fear or anger or bitterness, we really are not able to hear that with clarity. And so we want to be able to open up. And that really begins with finding acceptance with where I am now, in this moment, in this situation, around those circumstances. And so these techniques can really support you in that. But that's what they're about. I'm not here to promote techniques to you. I just offer these things if they're supportive to you, if they feel good to you. But the journey is really about the awareness. It's about making space for yourself to be aware, to be conscious of what's coming up, to notice it, and to support yourself in feeling loved and safe as those feelings, as those thoughts, as those beliefs show up for you. And allowing that natural movement to happen, of that stream, natural movement, to be able to process, to digest, to be able to move these things on, to allow, not reach for, that new thinking, that new intuition, that new guidance, that new opportunity to come and find you in your own space and time. And so there are lots of ways that you can receive guidance and support if you're feeling that's something you need through that journey. And the first one is, a lot of you will be there already, but in case you're new, is come and join us in our Facebook space, which is Peacewithpda, for parents of PDAers. Oh, my bracelet's caught on my jumper. And that's a beautiful community of really open-hearted, open-minded parents who are really showing up in their truth, in their alignment, in their open-heartedness. Don't know if I said that already, but I'll say it again even if I did, because it's really important and really true. And we have a chat at the weekends to just connect and be with each other, because we all understand how isolating life can feel at times on this parenting journey. And if not in an everyday way, which is often the case, but if not in an everyday way, certainly in terms of the depth of stuff, the questions and the wanderings that move through us as parents, that can feel very isolating. Where do I go with this stuff? The other parent friends I have aren't talking about this stuff. It's complex, isn't it? So it's lovely to have community to come and connect with. And it doesn't take the place of family, tribe, local community, all the stuff we would ideally like to have. It doesn't. It's not the same. And we're often in and out of times, dipping in and out the best we can. We have to be very flexible and work with the opportunities that we have to connect, which is messy. But it's beautiful because everyone comes with the intention of bringing the best of that connection, and they come in realness. And that means even if you just touch a little bit of it, it's really special because it's real, it's true. So I really love our community. I value that ever so much. If you feel like you need some additional support, or feel like you would like to do some deeper dive work, we have the Freedom Centre, which is my membership space. And we meet on Zoom calls each week, and we have interactions through the week and content that takes us deeper into this work. And I also offer one-to-one parent support sessions, which I am able to offer at a more accessible price point, because at the moment I work from home and I don't have overheads of travel and spaces. Here I am in my healing room at home, and this is where you find me. So I'm able to make those sessions at a more accessible price point. If you would like to book that in just as a one-off session, or commit to a block of sessions, I can let you know the times and the price points for those, and I'm happy to discuss if that is the right fit for you right now. So just get in contact anytime through Facebook or email me. I'm not adverse to giving out my phone number. I trust you all, but I'm not very good with receiving phone calls. This end is not the easiest to hold space for you and talk if you just catch me in the middle of something. So if you could reach out via a message or an email, I'm able to respond to you and I can really be present with you. And that feels better than having a rushed conversation with you. So get in touch anytime if you want to put any of those things in place for yourself. And of course, if you want to know more about EFT tapping, you can do that through Peacewithpda. If you are a professional or an interested party in the PDA community that's liking the sound of this content, but you don't fit the narrative of the parent work, I'm still happy to do one-to-one work. You know, my majority content that I put out is for parents, but of course, if you want one-to-one work for yourself, that is a possibility. But also we have a public Facebook page called Peacewithpda public page to make it obvious, and you're very welcome to follow the content as well as on YouTube and share that with people that you're supporting, you know, and I really appreciate you being that wrap around our community. You're very important to us all. Okay, lots of love to all of you. Thanks for listening in with me today. Take super care of yourself, and what more is there to say? Have a super day. Bye.